Yo, YouTube, what's good? It's Aeghis. In this video, we're going to be going over a set of games here I had as Frost. If you haven't seen this video already, we did part 1. That'll be in the description where we go over 2 of the matchups that we had. But yeah, you guys really seem to enjoy the first part of this video, so I want to get the second part out to you. So let's just look at the game here. Briefly, just very briefly, this isn't completely in depth, but what I do want to talk about is I saw some people in the comments of the last video asking when do I take Blink Stun versus Shimmer. So really easy answer is I play Blink Stun when I'm trying to never press Polymorph. When I'm just trying to only do damage and win on damage without the attempt of going in to try to CC the healer, except for follow-ups off of like Hodges and Stormbolts and Blinds and stuff. But I will never start the CC chain usually with the Sheep if I'm playing Blink Stun. And then if I play Shimmer, then that means that I'll be playing to win is what I call it. And that just basically means that you'll be going in aggressive positioning and you will try to Shimmer Sheep the healer to start goes. Yeah, I just wanted to go over that real quick. I'm not going to go over like every single matchup and like which one you should take that into because that would just be way too big of a topic. However, just a real brief statement about it. So I hope you guys find some clarity in that. So let's see how this game starts. So we're walking in here. You can see like I'm not walking in directly at them. I'm just kind of like going over here. I'm trying to keep like a really respectable distance between the DPS. So if they want to get to me, that they have to commit some mobility. So one thing I do is I do sacrifice a little bit of positioning. Sorry, I keep backing it up because I want to show you this. I do sacrifice a little bit of positioning to go in and try to get a slow on this healer at the start, just because it's free. So I slow him. That's going to make it all the more annoying. Just like first global, it's pretty decent global. A lot of people ask me when you use slow on Frost. Good for CCing the healer, basically. So I'm spamming slows. I get freedom, which is perfect. And I actually am able to land a double knock on this DK's blind, which is super great start to this game. So then I put a ring of fire around the area between me and them. I get gripped back in on it. And now you can see I just blink out of this Chastise Sun, which gives me perfect positioning. Another thing is like just making sure that you're facing good directions when you are playing Blink Stun. It's a very like underrated skill to make sure that you're constantly facing a good direction so that if you are to get stunned, you can blink back into, you know, if I was facing like a different scenario here, if I was here and I was facing this way and I got stunned, then I would have to blink and I would be all the way over here, which is like terrible positioning because for one, as Blink Stun, you want to kind of always blink backwards. You want to play very slow. And by playing slow, I mean usually always blinking in a defensive manner. Just to break it down a little bit, like my warrior's here, my pally's here, and I'm here. So this is good positioning right here because my pally gets to play on a pillar, which means he can just poke out and use globals. He's not like susceptible to CC without the other team having to run on top of him. So this pally has God positioning. I'm in the back with defensive positioning, and the reason why this is defensive is because the enemy healer is here. You can't see him really, but his health bar is back there. This would be considered offensive positioning if I was like up here or like over here, because that would mean that I'm like positioned in a way to try to land CC, but I'm not. I'm just back here away from everybody trying to just get my damage out. And that's always what I'm doing basically when I'm playing Blink Stun. So I'm just back here. I'm just parsing. Basically, we can look a little bit about my parse now. So I drop an orb. Actually, we'll back it up just to further get more context here. So yeah, we get the Ring of Fire. Remember what I said? These are like your prep globals, like Frostbomb, Ring of Fire. You want to do these before you start to send in your damage. So I Veins, I get my Ring of Fire down, and now that I have my Ring of Fire down, I can start going into my damage rotation. I Pet Nova, Orb, Lance the Monk, Lance, Flurry, Comet Storm. Comet, after you Flurry, is very good value because the Flurry won't be affected. It won't get consumed by Comet, and it'll make each tick crit because of the shatter effect. And if you guys don't know any of the terms I'm using, go and check out my Ultimate Frost Mage rework guide, and that'll go over everything that is going on with Frost Mage. So yeah, you can see here I still have defensive positioning. I'm still just parsing. So I do Frost Bomb into Glacial, and I shatter that Glacial with a Flurry. And then I throw in Ice Lance to the Winter's Chill. If you guys didn't know, if you have an Ice Lance proc and you throw it into Winter's Chill, which is this debuff, this proc does 20% more due to Wintertide. So Wintertide is like Basically, a lot of people ask me, why do you flurry sometimes before you lance? Because a lot of people think that this flurry should only be used for, or they would view this as like an overlap. But you actually do get 20% more damage when you combine an Ice Lance proc and a flurry. So it's like a little bit more bursty, but you are sacrificing long-term damage. The other way would be if I sent in these 2 procs and then I flurried and then I just sent in 2 normal Ice Lances. And that would be like more Ice Lances over time, but this one would just be like 20% more damage. So it's just like more burst, but you sacrifice more lances. So I DB this monk off me because he's just on my ass. He pops Serenity on me. So yeah, I backed it up here. 1 Frost Bomb, Glacial, Flurry, Lance. And now my goal here is to get a Ray with this because the Frost Bomb is going to tick. So it's going to be huge burst. My Frost Bomb is going to tick at the same time I'm Ray. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I need to get this monk off me so he doesn't interrupt my Ray. So I DB him and then I start my Ray channel here. Unfortunately, the DK kicked me because I walked into him. It could be said that when I used my Ice Flows here, so like right here, DB, Ice Flows, and then start to channel my Ray, but instead of going in this direction like I did, go over here. And then the DK would not have been able to kick this Ray, so big misplay by me. I get kicked. So the reason why I don't channel my shifting here, like something that's very good is when you get kicked on Frost or like kicked on any school like this, you want to start to channel a different school. But I didn't want to channel my shifting here. You can see it's like one of the only abilities that's lit up. The only reason I didn't want to do it here is because the monk still has interrupt and they have a lot of cooldowns up. So there's no time right now to get shifting. I have to live this go. To restart this thing again. We'll go over this defensive sequence here. Again, I'm sorry if it seems like I'm keep backing it up to go over really small things. It's just these small things are gonna be what teach you guys them. I think you guys appreciate it, but I just want to reiterate that going over these small things is very, very useful. These are the things that are commonly glossed over. So they connect. My Pally's in a string. By the way, something that's not talked about is where I'm looking always. So the reason why I have my big debuffs like this is because I'm always going to immediately see what CC is put on my healer. For people who maybe are newer to WoW and haven't been, looking in the same areas for as many years, I guess, they're not as like used to their UI, I would recommend getting either like a weak aura, something that shows what CC your healer's in. Basically, it's just really important to always see. I always look here, like I said. If you guys feel like you maybe don't have like the awareness to be able to not have to use a weak aura for it, you can use a weak aura for it. There's no like shame in that to learn the game. And then as time goes on, you guys can get rid of the weak auras. So it's fine to use weak auras for that if you guys want. But yeah, he's in a string, so I know I'm in trouble here. So I trade out my wall and I alter over top. Sometimes I trade this like wall alter, call it a Walter, but it's usually pretty bad to overlap these because you can see here I end up having to cancel my altar. So that's something that's very important. We'll back it up here. So wall altar, I blink away, and you can see I blink away even though I'm not stunned. So it's fine to use your blink stun even though you're not stunned. They don't really have any stuns available right now. Chast is on cooldown, leg sweep's on cooldown. The DK used asphyxiate on the Pally. So it's kind of fine. And by the way, I just want to also reiterate, I'm not seeing this. I'm not like, okay, leg sweep is off cooldown, chastise off cooldown, asphyx off cooldown. Okay, I can afford to use my blink here. I'm just blinking because like I'm in danger. And then I know that I have trinkets still. I'm just further reiterating why it's fine to use your blink a lot of the times, even though you're not stunned. So then I do flurry, lance, glacial. I'm trying to juke right there. You see I juked a little bit to try to get precog because I saw the DPS were collapsing on me a little bit. So I glacial, shatter it with an ice nova. It shatters on both targets, 203k. Wow. You can see here that my altar is taking down. It has like 1 second left. It's red, which means I'm going to go down to 64%. So I have this bind here. It's a hidden bind kind of, but basically that's a / cancel aura altar time. So that's going to be what I use to cancel this altar here in a sec. You can see I press the keybind right there and it cancels my altar. Then I lance into the glacial nova, the glacial root. I cone of cold them because cone of cold is actually a 70% snare. It's actually your slowest slow. So it's really good to use just kind of when you're trying to get some people off you, trying to get some casts off. So I ring of fire. and I pet nova. I'm just gonna show you guys right here. You can see my pet nova. I track my pet nova and I track my water jet. So basically, whenever you have veins up, you're gonna summon your water elemental. This is important to have a frame for him, so you can see whenever he gets like put into CC, you'll see like a CC frame here. So you're not like just sitting there wondering like, where's my pet nova? I'm just spamming it, it's not working. But yeah, you want to basically the only things that you need to track for your pet when you have it out is the nova and the water jet. So the water jet you can have on automatic. You can see this little like yellow outline that it has. That means it's on automatic. So whenever it's off cooldown, it's gonna throw out the jet. You can have that, that's fine. The reason why it's important to track the cooldown of it is because if you have 2 flurry charges already, you want to make sure you get one of those on cooldown before the jet goes off, because the water jet that the elemental is gonna use is gonna give you a refunded flurry charge, and you don't want to lose that. That's very crucial. I recommend just tracking these 2. And pet nova is very good because remember, you can use it while you're casting. So that's what I do here. So I use this to help me get a cast off here. I just backed it up one more time so I can reiterate. I cast that glacial, I try to fake, glacial, cancel the altar, lance, and then I Cone of Cold them. I ring of fire, and then immediately I pet nova with the cast so that the monk can't just continue to walk over and kick me. So I don't have to fake this, and I guaranteed get my damage out. Now, since there's a zone, what I opt to do is I opt to shifting power, ice flows, and then walk away to try to avoid any interrupts. I get my mass barrier up. And then I cast a sheep and I fake it and get precog. So I'm not entirely sure where this is going. Let me watch it here. Yeah, this is a nice little interaction. Mass barrier. I juke that sheep. Okay. So yeah, I was just trying to get the DPS off me for like a moment. And trying to eat some interrupts because I noticed that they had both interrupts right now. And I didn't have Ring of Fire to fake. So like I talked about in the last video, a lot of the times when they have double interrupts, sometimes it can be a waste to sit there and keep fishing for precog. You can maybe try once or twice, like I tried here. You can see I sheep. The monk is on me though, so I cancel it with my stop casting macro. By the way, I just want to say, stop casting macro, I have it on mouse wheel down because when you're playing and like this is sheep, my ring finger, you're gonna like sheep and then you're gonna be able to cancel it immediately. And you see how it's like no delay because it's 2 separate fingers and you can just do it like boom, 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 boom. So you can like sheep really quick or cancel your cast really quick. I'm not saying you have to use mouse wheel down. I'm just saying like try to think about a really efficient bind. A lot of people tell me stop casting binds are very clunky to use and they just prefer moving, but it's inefficient because when you go to play other classes or other specs, there's going to be abilities that you can cast while moving. So I really think it's efficient to get used to a stop casting keybind. So you can see I fake the kick here. I get precog. And then I cast a sheep, and then I cast a frostbolt because I just have precog, so it's like a free greedy damage global, and I have some good haste here because I have a time and knowledge proc. So I'm really trying to fit a lot of globals into this. So I frostbomb, then I comet storm, and I shatter the comets with ice nova. So that's gonna give all of those. Now, shattering comet storm with ice nova is usually not like the best way to do it. What I wish I would have done here, had I been smarter and better, is I would have frostbombed and then I would have flurried first. So instead of this global being comet, I would have flurried here. And then what I would have done is I would have casted Comet Storm into the flurry, double lance the Winter's Chill stacks off, and then when this Frostbomb was about to expire, what I would do is I would use Ice Nova to shatter that. But unfortunately, I fuck up my damage rotation here, and it sucks a little bit, obviously, because we don't kill them. So let me see what's going on. So you can see the healer is in angel form. So I have the healer on my focus frame and I see angel form is about to drop. So something that's like kind of common when people have aura mastery effects like this, like I can't kick the healer right now while he's in angel form. He's immune to all CC. Something you can do sometimes is you can put a ring around them. Like you can angle the ring at their feet, like a ring of frost. They can fade it. So if they don't have fade, that's a really good play to do. But a lot of people, like sometimes they don't track when this is about to end or their aura masteries are about to fall. So I'm looking to interrupt this heal. So he like continues to cast and then yeah, we interrupt him because he doesn't have aura mastery anymore. So I was looking for that. I was fishing for that once I saw angel form. PI was one buff. I'm gonna back it up to show you guys. Yeah, he's in angel form. doing damage here. I'm blinking away. I get gripped back in. I barrier, which removes my chains of ice. So I'm able to go moving full speed now. I kick the heal, and then I steal the power infusion because he only had like one buff. So it was a free steal. As frost and fire, you have to be really careful with your spell steals. So basically spell steal takes about 20% of your mana. So you only have about 4 spell steals before you're going to be completely and you don't want to be in that completely state. So 4 spell steals max. I displace here. Displace is a super nice ability because if you do get caught having to blink forward or like you're in a kind of compromised position, displace is always going to feel like a nice cushion to be able to retreat a little bit. So that's what I do here. I'm displace back, and remember, displace also gives you a nice heal. So this is kind of cool too. I know I don't have to juke this ring of fire because of something very small. You can see my warrior intervenes me, and intervene is going to eat the melee interrupt. So I guess the DK could have kicked me here technically, but the reason why I'm not like faking this ring of fire is because I know like I want the DK to kick it. If the monk kicked it, it would just get intervened anyways. So it's completely fine to just commit to this cast here. Orb, blizzard. So this is so good now. This is so good. I basically have these guys in what I call the blender. They're getting blended right now because they got the ring of fire on them, they got the orb on them, and they have a blizzard on them. So they're just taking so much passive damage right now. And then I'm generating ice lance procs, so I'm just constantly chucking lances too. I try to get a frost bomb off because I know we actually have the potential to kill these people. So if I landed like a frost bomb into glacial ice nova combo, these guys are for sure gonna die. One thing I do want to go over this little sequence here. So yeah, I got these guys in the blender. Throw my lance in. Lance, I blast wave them off me because now I want to try to get some casts off. Unfortunately, the DK gets like charge rooted when I pressed it, so it didn't work on him. But unfortunate. So I cast this frost bomb, but you notice they have both kicks. So I immediately need to cancel this frost bomb because they reconnected to me, and I need to try to juke this. So I juke it there, and I get precog. He tries to sweep it to stop the cast as well, so I can just blink out of this now. Now I have precog. The healer's in a position for me to just sheep him, so I go for the sheep since we have good pressure. So you can see this is the first polymorph I press all game, and it could even be said that since it was a half sheep, a frost bomb into glacial would have been a much better way to spend that precog. So probably even shouldn't have casted that. I double DB them as like a gap closer because it's going to give you double DB is usually going to give you like 1 global of downtime. So double DB, and then I try to make some distance here. I Nova them. I'm still just running. I pop altar, glacial spike. I juke that. I shatter. Should have CS that heal. All right, let's go back here, guys. Again, I want to apologize for breaking this down so like we're still only on 1 round, and I apologize for that, but trust me, you guys are gonna, I feel like this video a lot. We'll see. So glacial, I juke it, get the precog. So where you juke is something that's also kind of, people don't talk about that a lot. So I'll back it up to the cast. But yeah, basically you never want to kick in this area of the cast. If you're gonna kick people, you always want to do it either really fast or you want to do it at the very last second. That's the most efficient way to kick people. Never kick in this area. That's how you get juked, like this monk did. You always want to juke in this area here, or you always want to kick. Sorry, if you're trying to kick people, you always want to kick at the very end, or you want to kick at the beginning. The reason why is because if you kick at the very beginning, not a lot of people are going to do like what I call a pump fake, which is where they literally only cast for like 0.1 seconds and cancel it. And if the person does cast all the way over here, then they've wasted the max amount of time. Like if they're going to juke that, then they've already wasted like the whole global worth of time. So even if you do get faked here, it's not the worst because you've delayed it enough to the point where it could be said that it was a little bit less value now. Where I juke is usually in this area. You want to juke somewhere in this area. It gets like pretty mind gamey when you start fighting the same players. So like when I face other rank 1s, for example, usually I won't fake until like right here. And then I can sometimes get precog that way. Or like I said earlier, you're just using other schools to like bait kicks and stuff, because juking can sometimes just be a waste of time if you're not getting the precog. So yeah, we got the glacial. We shot out with a flurry. Lance. For some reason, I'm not CSing that heal. Would have been like very good if I did this. I CS the second one. Sometimes it's good to be greedy with your kick. Like for example, I let him get that one flash heal off, but in his head, he's like casting it, hoping he doesn't get CS'd. So now I'm in his head a little bit in terms of I've still held on to my kick. So it's very hard for him to like recover because he still has to go through my CS. So he tries to hard cast another one. He gets kicked on it now. I comment, shitty comment, because I didn't do it into like a flurry or something, but trying to get precog here. I get it. Ring of Frost around me because I just want to have, sometimes I do this where I'll put like a ring around me if I'm getting zugged as hard as I'm getting zugged this match. So I'll go for a sheep. First sheep of the game. The reason I do this is pretty obvious, but I will go over it. So I backed it up here again. So ring on me, double stun comes out. Healer is not, their positioning is awful. Like if this would have been good positioning for them, the priest would be like over here in this little corner of this pillar. Like this is the pillar, you guys see it. And then the priest would be like here, so that he's not in like blink CS range, he's not in sheep range, but he's way out over here in the open. So it's free sheep, might as well just claim, you know. It's on my screen. All I have to do is literally just hit claim. Sheep his ass. There it is. See, the monk rolls into the Ring of Frost. So this is like why I have to have Ring of Frost around me sometimes, because you can kite around it. So you can see like they're going over here to try to hit me. So like I should move over to this side of the ring so that I'm still out of range, you know. And then we just kind of play like ring around the rosy around the ring, or they just walk into it. So I get the Ring of Fire off. I flurry, lance. You can see I'm not going for resheeps because they were on me with kicks. I get bopped. I'm just getting distance here because I'm getting kind of low. I cast a Glacial, shatter it into Ray. So the reason I don't like wait for a flurry here is because look how long my flurries have on cooldown. I can't really afford to, honestly, now that I look back at it, what I could have done here is I could have shifted my veins back, and then that would have gave me a flurry from my water elemental's water jet, and then I could have sent my flurry charge in and then raid, and we'll see. If I don't kill, that's probably why. So I thought that would be enough to close out the game because I knew that he guardianed the monk. So I knew that the priest had absolutely no cooldowns to save this DK. The DK had no cooldowns as well. So the reason why I did what I call like a shitty Ray, which is one that you don't do into flurry because you won't get the guaranteed crits, is because I thought I could just end the game here. So we'll see. DK has a pretty positive Ray so far. Not very positive. So yeah, that Ray didn't work. If you guys don't know what Ray is, a lot of people were really confused about Ray in my other video, so I'll explain it here briefly. So Holy Priests have this cooldown, Ray of Hope. So basically you can see the color it is now, yellow. This is a positive Ray. This means basically what Ray is it's a buff that the Holy Priest can put on the target, 1.5 minute cooldown, and it's going to increase all the healing done to the target by 50%, but it also pauses all healing and all damage. So in 6 seconds, all the healing and damage that happens will happen at the end. So this is a positive Ray, which means more healing was done into the Ray than damage. So if I would have done more damage here, this Ray would have turned blue. Literally the color of this would just be blue, like the icon, and that would be a negative Ray. So the DK would die because there was more damage. He doesn't necessarily only die because the Ray is negative. I'm saying like he would die because I probably did 148k more damage than he did healing. So then he would end up just dying. So it's positive, but only by a small amount. I'm blinking for a sheep. Obviously a bad idea. I'm forced to block now. I come out. In a sec, I should have tried to CS that heal. Trying to still get a sheep here. Getting kicked. Yeah, so this is awful by me. We could have won the game here if I did a couple things differently. So I'm forced into my block here because my pally's strength. And they have Serenity up. So this is their big cooldowns. So I set this block. I was looking to come out to maybe CS that heal, but my warrior fears. So honestly, there's two things I should do here. I should just try to kill them. Or I could look for the follow-up on this since there's no sheep DR. Like, sheep DR is available, basically. So that is what I tried to do. I tried to sheep, but I got kicked. So immediately what I should have done is had my mouse ready to place a ring here to ring him off since I still have that school available. I get kicked on Frost because the monk rolled over and kicks me. So I didn't get either. Knock him off me. trying to go for that late sheep. And the reason I go for this late sheep is because the healer is obviously very, very behind on healing. If I even make him have to use a death global to death this sheep here, that's completely fine. And that's why I'm also not faking death in this scenario. So blink in, kill him. All right, and that's going to be all for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do want one-on-one coaching, I am offering that. Usually it'll be earlier in the day, Eastern time. You can message me on Discord if you want to schedule something for that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys around. Peace out. Thanks for watching.